I only have 45 minutes, which is not enough time. Welcome to my panel, Gunpla is Life. If you're wondering what it is, it's pretty much what it means. You know? I really want to thank all of you guys because I don't really make it out to the East Coast much. So thank you so much for your time. It's really nice that you guys actually come out to see us, and I really appreciate it. Hey, you're cool. Okay. Yeah. Yes, awesome. I wish I brought my. Yeah, you showing me up. Yeah. So since I only have like, how many minutes do I have? Like 35 minutes.
Yeah, about 35 now.
35. Oh, good to see you.
Hey.
I didn't see you all weekend. Were you here? But I see a lot of familiar faces, so thank you for coming.
I've been Makarov most of the weekend with a mustache and everything.
Oh, okay, that's why. So yeah, like, if you guys are curious, is it your first time? How many of you guys are new into Gunpla Building? Oh, okay, I'm happy, yeah. Oh, really? Okay. So let me take my gloves off. So let me sit down. Okay, so yeah, like I think that we can cover a lot of stuff. I'm probably going to go over a couple things that I've done, so you guys kind of get an idea of like how long I've been building. I don't really post a lot of my customs online, but I've done quite a bit. So I've been building for about 15 years, yeah, like, well, no, 20 now. I'm kind of old. So anyway, yeah, so I first started, I'm not kind of, thank you. I cover my forehead, so maybe that helps. But yeah, so I think that in general, when you're building, you want to build something that you like. So I first started building, because I didn't know about Gunpla, I built airplanes, because that's the only thing I found at the hobby shops. And then I got into building cars. And I was really young, I was like 10, and I didn't care about cars, but that's the only thing I could build at that time. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna build this, you know? I mean, did you guys get into that the same way?
Yeah.
Because you didn't know there was Gunpla. You're like, what is that? So back then we had KB toy stores. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. It ages me a lot, I know, but you used to work for one, and the discounts were crazy at the end.
Yeah.
You just bought all those Zoids. Anyway, so like, did you guys build Zoids kits? They sold that at KB toy stores. Yeah. Yes? Oh, did you? Oh, you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yes. I wish I had more time. I wanted to go over a lot more things, but I looked at my schedule and it said 45 minutes. Oh, wow, are we going to talk about everything? So yeah, and then I found out about Gunpla that way, and then my cousins introduced me to Gundam and Gundam Wing, and I was like, he's really whiny. So I was like, man, I don't know if I could get into this, but I really did like the heavy arms, and then I really love, heavy arms is one of my favorites. Yeah, it's a good start, because it actually was in English at that time, you know? Yeah, the 00, right? Okay, so, yeah, and then I was like, man, this is such a good series. It's not Voltron, because I grew up with Voltron and all that stuff, so, and Transformers, so I was like, this is definitely not what I'm used to. It's really cool. And I love the war aspect. Tomino did a great job at everything he did. So then I studied it more, so I get into double Zeta, which we're not going to talk about too much, or double Zeta, not too much, Zeta, yes, but yeah, it's just I got into all of the Gundam series, and then I started just not buying any other kits, just Gunpla. And then a couple years into what I did, I started realizing that I can't just use nail clippers anymore. I was like, because no one taught me, and there was no YouTube at that time, that, you know, who used nail clippers? I mean, it's not wrong, but
You started
that way because you're like, well, I can't use scissors.
I did it by hand.
And you do it, but you twist it off, right?
Yeah.
Which they do have kits like that now. We'll go over that later, but for those who don't build right now, like now, we'll talk about it later, but now the kits are so advanced that you can just, you know, press them out. And you're like, okay, well, I don't need any tools for this stuff. But yeah, like I used clippers, and then I used jewelry pliers, you know, because I was like, this is cleaner, but it still had an edge, you know, a V shape. So then I started going into YouTube, and then I just got slapped in the face with all this information. And you know how you feel like when you're like, I'm pretty good, I think I'm all right. Like, all my friends don't build, I build, you know, and then you go on YouTube and you're like, what? What is a side cut? A flat side cutter? So like, I'll go over some of the tools that you can use, and some of the cheaper tools if you're just starting. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to buy God Hand, you know?
Yeah.
Like God Hand is a tool that a lot of people like to buy. I do.
It is God Hand.
It's a God Hand. It's just like, it sounds really cool. And not only that, but it cuts like butter, you know? But it also breaks very easily. But we'll go over that. See, it's not enough time. I could talk about this for 8 hours. But yeah, so KB Toy Stores, and then I would buy some kits. So I started out with the Night Gundam, like a Night, and then a Sananju, but SD model kits, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, these are really cute. And none of my friends at that time built. So I would show it to them, and they're like, nerd. And I'm like, okay. This is like in the 90s, so of course they're still calling you nerd.
Yeah.
You know, it's not cool at all. And, you know, and then the comic book stores that we used to visit every Tuesday and Wednesday would sell them, you know, to make more money, because comic books at that time were, what, 80, 90 cents. This conversation really ages me. Anyway, and then I did 40K, and that's where I learned how to Warhammer stuff, and that's where I learned how to paint a lot of my stuff, because it's really detailed. Do you guys do any other kind of model building? Just Gunpla? Because Gunpla's life? Okay, Gunpla's life. Okay.
Do Legos count?
Yeah, see? I know, I see. Which one did you, I can't see without my glasses.
Yanko from Build Fighters.
Oh, Build Fighters. I love Build Fighters. Did you guys like Build Fighters? Yeah, because you felt like one of them.
Got a new Gundam.
You're like, this is me! I wish I could talk about the games too. Any versus players in here? Yep. Yeah, okay. You'll kick my butt. So yeah, like, yeah, so then I started learning on YouTube how to use, you know, X-Acto blade and art blade. Are you guys familiar with using an X-Acto blade and art blade?
Yeah.
You have what? You have the cut. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you know, the funny thing is, I started using guitar finger protectors because it's cheap and it's silicone and it won't cut my finger.
Yeah.
So I started using that. It looks silly, but it saved my fingers. So you can also use guitar finger, you know, protectors as something to protect your fingers. But I definitely recommend an art blade. Are you guys familiar with art blade? It's a lot smaller, and to me, it's more precise with the cuts. And we all hate nubs.
Yeah.
Nub life, which is like, if you guys are not familiar with nubs, they are the remaining of the gate. So if you're cutting from the gate, which is like the separator, you cut close enough and leaves a tiny nub that's not supposed to be there. So you can use different grits. Are you guys familiar with grits, sanding grits?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so if you're working on cosplay, you obviously use like something, you know, to sand it down, but like,
But not only that, you
with
also need to like get rid of the bumps.
the bumps and everything. So it's the same thing that applies to Gunpla. So you definitely want to buy different kind of grits for Gunpla building. You don't just buy 1 grit, 2 grit. You can even buy 6 grits if you want to get really technical with it. Especially like some of the guys. Do you guys compete? Any of you guys compete?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you definitely compete because you're like, yes,
Yes.
yes. So like, in competition level, depending on your finish, you can use up to like, I've seen some people use 9 grits, you know, like, or finishing buffers. So I don't go to that extent, but I do use different grits. So my favorites are to use, if you're writing notes, 400. 600, 800. Those are really great because when you get into 240, which is lower the number, the more harsh it is. You really don't need it because you're using an art blade already. So something like 400, 600 grit. And then you use a nail buffing block. Have you guys used a nail buffing block on, you know, it looks like this. You guys don't have a Daiso, I learned. Which, they need a Daiso here. If you guys ever go to the West Coast, is a Japanese dollar store. They have the best buffers. So if you go to California, you go to AX.
I think Kino
Who
has
cares about
some.
AX? Go to Daiso. You know, go, if you're bored of AX, you know, you're buying enough
Or any
stuff.
Japanese convenience store.
Yeah, any Japanese convenience store. It might be a little more expensive, but I love going to Daiso or dollar stores to buy my buffing blocks,
I think
which are like this.
Kino has some of those on the lowest level,
Yeah,
but I'm
if
not
you can
sure.
go to a dollar store, you can find these. You don't have to spend a lot of money. They do the same thing as like the big blocks. But it doesn't really matter what you use. You can just use this or a block. It all really depends on what you want to do. But to get really technical, a lot of people like to use certain brands, like Tamiya and God Hand, or you know, if you want to get into paints, you know, there's a lot of different paints. I'm probably going to get into questions soon because we don't have a lot of time. But yeah, there's a lot of tools that you guys can ask me about that you want to, and I'm sure, you know, some people in here can recommend a couple other things because we're not all experts in art, right? We're all learning still. So even though I've been building for 15 to 20 years or whatever, I can still learn. I still learn. One thing I actually learned from a person that was a customizer in my Hawaii panel, they used eyeshadow on a lot of their customs for weathering techniques. Have you guys tried that before?
No.
So they do have kits that you can buy online for painting and to weather, and they're literally eyeshadow. But they don't label it, you know, eyeshadow for Gunpla. They don't say that. You can buy CoverGirl eyeshadow and use it for weathering. Use a sponge and rub it on. A lot of people rub it on with their fingers. So you can, it's really, yeah, you can buy dollar store eyeshadow and weather the bottom of your Gunpla. So there are a lot of techniques I can share with you guys if you guys are, you know, curious. But yeah, like, what time is it?
The time is 12:04.
Oh, I don't have a lot of time.
You got like 20 minutes.
20 minutes, that's
Yeah.
not enough time. Okay, how do I condense this? Okay, you guys like Gunpla, okay, that's good.
Also post show
You
stream.
like anime, the Gunpla. What is your favorite, let me ask you guys a question. What is your favorite series, Gundam series?
00.
Did you say Seed?
The one
She
that.
says,
Okay, now it's time to introduce my friends. I made them wait long enough. So I don't know if you guys been to my Twitch streams, but Sayuri Chu is here. Come here, pink-haired chick. Yes, she's on. Don't be shy. This is Sayuri Chu. She just started building Gunpla too. No. You were forced to build.
I was forced to build. I started out with a bear guy.
That's not bad.
yeah.
That's not bad. It's pretty awesome.
Stardust.
And customs, Bear Guy customs are freaking awesome.
They're really cute. I like them.
They could
sense.
be, so I've seen some crazy stuff done to it, but thank you so much for, you know, falling into the trap. So, yeah, and then my friend Tekinator, who is also my mod for my channel. You probably guys seen him, Tekinator. He's always saying thank you and stuff, but he's my good friend, so come down, Tekinator. He hides his face. And Tekinator, so you build?
On and off.
You can sit down. You can sit down, it's fine. There's no, yeah. So you build, but you buy a lot of kits.
I have a huge backlog, that's for sure.
You sound like every single person in here. So I have a backlog. Well, let's do.
Okay, quick question. How do you guys store your backlogs?
Yeah, how do you store your backlog?
Shelving.
Shelves.
How many shelves?
Patterns?
How tall are you? That's it.
Everyone's just like confused because they're like, I sleep next to them.
Oh my god. Okay, so I stayed at her house and I'm sleeping.
Don't call me out. Anyway, the panel's done. But yeah. So yeah, like storing is one thing. No. But we're going to talk about Gunpla. So I think that, you know, we're all ready for questions maybe. Yeah, okay, let's start with you.
Yeah, so this is my first time doing a Gunpla. I've been fascinated about it.
Oh, okay.
I was old enough to remember KB toys and all those really cool, crazy looking things, but they were really expensive, so I never bought
Yes,
them.
very.
And I forgot about it until I came today, actually yesterday, and I went to the Gunpla exhibition. I was like,
Oh,
try one, you know?
Right.
So I've done origami since I was younger.
Oh,
I've done,
okay.
foil figures, figures for myself because I was too poor to buy them.
Right.
Right? And I saw for sale the gold
Fin-
unicorn thing.
Oh, Phoenix. Phoenix, yeah.
So is that, it looks really cool. Is that a good place to start?
See, I wish this panel was like 8 hours because I'll stand here, but I do that enough anyway. But like, the thing is, you can build anything you want, but do the research beforehand. You know, I've seen some people build the first kit, and it's perfection because you have so much knowledge on YouTube or websites, or the YouTube channel where, what's his name? Yeah, he's online all the time on, from the Gundam base, and they do amazing, you know, at Gundam base, and they do YouTube, you know, live streams, and you're like, what? This is cool. So, yeah, you can do a Phoenix, but maybe start small. You know,
Yeah.
don't go with the clear Phoenix, like.
My 18-year-old self was like, this is fucking awesome. I love this.
Yeah, that's me. That's all of us. Every time we walk in a store, we're like, yeah. But like, if you're just starting out, definitely like, you know, just like anything, riding a bike or driving a car, start small and slow and don't spend too much money because if you mess up, you're gonna look back and say, damn it, you know?
Too late.
Too late. It's not really too late. You can make it really battle damage, but maybe you want it to make it really clean. So I would say like an SD model kit that's cheap enough is under $10. HG, you know, high grade. If you want to go crazy, master grade, but no, probably not, because you might want to get rid of those nubs. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, really get rid of, you know, practice on getting rid of nubs. They are kind of like the thing that you're gonna be annoyed with for the rest of your life.
So hashtag no nubs.
No nubs, yeah. So I hate those.
Bluefin
But
has a pretty good starter kit as well. Like,
Yes.
really good. Like,
Bluefin's
F78,
amazing.
Starter kit. So definitely recommend that.
and also it's cheap because when they have a starter kit, they have everything in it that's usable. But you can also do your research and you can use like cheaper tools. It doesn't really matter. But I do recommend when you're on your second kit, use a blade because it's going to cut your time in half with the nubs because you're just, you know, using the blade properly. You know, practicing like your technique is very important instead of buying the best looking kit, you know, in the beginning. So, but you know what's really cool about you liking making stuff out of foam? You can make dioramas later with those. You know, you use foam as your armature and base for a lot of things like mountains and stuff like that, which I still use a lot of foam. I mean, foil for my pieces. So yeah. Okay, questions? Yes.
Okay, so I actually was talking with a student, like when I was teaching English to Japanese students.
Okay.
He mentioned Gunpla. So I asked him a question. What are like the different grades? Like I see like AG, MG, and then HG. So like which ones are like the best grades from lowest to?
I can't really say best because it depends on your specific style. What do you guys think? Like, you start out with, did you build a high grade yet? Have you guys built a high grade yet? No. Well, we know what we're doing later, so.
I haven't built a high grade, but I started off with a master grade for my first kit.
Yeah.
So like,
There's no best kit, if I can be honest.
so MG is like one of the best, or is it?
It's just, it's like,
Levels of
it's a
detail
size.
and complexity.
Yeah.
It's the complexity and size, so I think that, I can't really say high grade is, you know, or perfect grade is the best. A lot of people think more money, better. It's not necessarily like that, because some kits are not, you
They
know,
don't
like,
have inner frames or something. 'cause of
yeah,
the-
like, so real grades, so if we start out, like, I'm sure you guys can add in, But the ones that primarily get sold everywhere, you know, SD, super deformed. SD means super deformed. So, right? So then you get like, this is the normal ones. You can get into jumbo grade and all that. But you usually see high grade, you know? High grade is like, the articulation's not that there, really.
And they're $10 to $30 usually.
Yeah, so $10 to $30. Master grade is like skirts move, you know, the skirts move on them. You know, the knees move and the elbows. Real grade's like the anime. It goes all the way back. There's a internal frame, and you can paint it too.
And you can
There's
move
a lot
the
of things
fingers.
you can do at real grade. So if you get more technical, I'm a big fan of real grades because of like how you can pose them. There's a lot of pieces though, so I wouldn't say that's a good starter. High grade would be best, or master grade.
Thank you so much.
No problem, no problem, yes.
Well, to go off one of the previous questions, what would be some like good kits that for someone like me who has absolutely zero experience with Gunpla?
There's a lot of kits that you can, for me, I think that, you know, you can't go wrong with the RX-78 because, you know, or like Zaku, because it's iconic and it just looks damn cool and it represents everything that we love in Gundam, like that are starting out, you know? So I really think that, but you can build anything you like. A lot of people say, what should I build? Should it be just, what should it be? And I'm like, it could be anything. So it just choose what you like. Because primarily, it will have the instructions there. It will have the instructions there. You can't go wrong. You might lose a piece though. So you want to build somewhere that doesn't have carpet. You're gonna get really mad. You get really angry if you lose a piece because they're small like this. You lose a piece, some joints might not fit.
Or a dog might get it.
A dog or something, or your vacuum will get it.
And
So you definitely want to build like
You might want to get the mat
silicone
too.
mat, definitely silicone mat. But if it falls underneath, you want to be able to see it. So maybe even prop up a table in your kitchen area. I have one. I have hardwood floors, but if you have carpet, you don't want to build there. When you first start out, or ever. But yeah, but I think any kit, there's no real thing that I can tell. I'll be like Kemper. I mean, but you don't like it, you know what I mean? So you can build anything. But iconically, yeah, RX-78 is really nice, and you can go back and sand it more and make it really nice. Like GM, like there's a lot of different kits you can get. There's too many. So just do what you like, but don't spend too much money. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Too late, haha, me too. There you go. Okay, there's a lot of hands, so you were raising your hand for a long time here.
Okay, first question. What am I gonna do with all these Gunpla boxes?
Oh, well, I'll
I have
tell you, you build them.
Well, no, but like when I'm
The
done
boxes,
building them,
I will, okay.
when I'm done building
Oh.
them, I got all these
gotta answer
Gunpla
for
boxes
you.
sitting around my house, and I don't know what I'm
Hey,
supposed to do
but
with
you
them.
know, I'm here, I'm gonna tell you right now. So, okay, I said this on my Twitch stream, and I do travel, and this is really bad to admit, but it doesn't matter because it's Gunpla's life. I will tell you, I go to Japan and Asia just for Gunpla. I don't give a crap about anything else. My friends are like, I want to go here. I want to go to Disney. I'm like, go, because I'm here. So I'm like, I'm going to go to Yodobashi, 8th floor, you know, and buy Gunpla for $3 because it's cheap because you're not paying, you know, taxes and you're not paying, you know, shipping. So you just bang, 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 bang. And then to pack them, it's terrible. Or just to store them. You guys you live in New York, right?
Yeah.
Where the hell do you put your boxes? So what I do is that I take out my kit, obviously I build them. And I don't know if you like to keep your boxes mint, it doesn't really matter at that point, right?
It doesn't matter.
So I condense them, I flatten them.
Oh, you
flat. Yes.
So you bend the boxes, and then so how I pack is that I'll put all the runners in one side, label them before I fly out.
Wait.
Flatten all the boxes, so perfect grade box, boom. Master grade box, boom. And it will flatten like this. 10 kits.
So you can. Oh my!
You just cut the
You don't even have to cut it. You just
Oh.
bend it. So you kind of like make a triangle, 2 triangles, and bend. Kind of like doing origami.
Oh.
Just bend it. Just bend the boxes, flatten them in your suitcase. One side is the runner, bring extra plastic bags or buy them in Daiso in Japan or wherever you're doing. They have Daiso is like $1 in Japan. So you just bag up the runners, label, then the box is one side. So you won't lose track of like what they are. And you can fit up to 10 to 15 kits in one luggage. And that's what I do all the time, and I'm a hoarder. Because, you know, like there's
That
already...
artwork. Gotta keep that up.
Yeah, you gotta keep the artwork, but you know, the boxes you're never gonna stare at, like, you're gonna look at the
You gotta
kit.
frame the key art. That's what you should do. Frame the
The key art is like, you're gonna buy key art every month then, if you're gonna be, you know what I mean? Because like, Gunpla is life. There you go. Anyways, but yeah, like, that answers your question? That
You
answers...
good?
Does that answer your question?
Is that answering your question?
Yeah, that answers my question.
Okay, cool, awesome.
Yeah, flatten them.
Yeah,
I'll
just
have to keep
flatten them.
that in mind.
Okay, and then, yes?
Okay.
Yes.
Say you wanted to do a custom logo on like the side of the arm of your
Oh, okay.
like say you don't want like a Xeon or you don't want like whatever. You want to like put like a custom logo.
Oh.
For example, if you're like a gigantic Game of Thrones fan, you put like the dire wolf.
Yeah.
How would you approach doing that?
Oh, it's funny because G Mobile actually is here, and he's in my chat. So he actually gave me some decals. Did you make them?
No.
But you did.
You,
But you can print your own.
yeah, they have companies that does that,
Yeah.
and you can get. There's a company called Scale Hobbies. They do sell a lot of hobby supplies, and you can get like there's two types of water slide decals. One of them is white, the other one's clear.
Yes.
So you can actually print out your own decal. The only thing is, it's if you're using white, it's pretty good. You can print it out, but you have to cut out along the edge wherever you want to cut it.
Yeah, because decals always have that edge, and then when you're having a water slide, they already pre-cut that edge for you. So you definitely want to go with the company. What is the company?
Scale Hobbyist.
Scale Hobby.
ScaleHobbyist.com.
Scale Hobbyist.
They have different types of supplies. The other thing is never cut those decals with a scissor because they.
Yeah, don't cut with scissors. You want to use a blade.
Yeah.
So.
You perforate the sides.
Yes, you definitely want to cut with the art blade. Yeah, and you can get an Alpha art blade for really cheap. Or is it Tamiya art blade? I forgot what brand it was, but I buy Alpha because it's everywhere. But yeah, like you can print them out, so you definitely can do those. But does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Yes.
Hi. So I've been building, like for this year, I've built like a couple of hybrids and been working up to get more experience with it.
Yeah.
But I'm still straight up terrified of painting and doing it.
Oh.
So how would I get started in that?
Oh man, I definitely say like anything that you do, you gotta know. Okay, so like a car. I think of everything like a motorcycle, car. You know this applies to cosplay, making armor, everything. Sanding, knowing how to fill those gaps. You know, like sanding. Perfect your sanding first, because that finish will not be perfect without prepping your piece. So if you see people building, you can build really fast. Yeah, you can build a kit in 1 hour. Or not 1 hour, sorry, 5 hours or whatever. But prepping that will take double, triple even. So you definitely want to get really into prepping because when you prime it, you will see everything. It will piss you off. Yeah, because you're like, I didn't do this right. But then one good thing about priming is that it's sandable. You know, depending on, you can sand it again. Because a lot of people, like automotive, this is where I've learned from my friends who do automotive. They sand and they do a perfect job, they think. Then they get a test coat, a primer. Then they see like lines in it, then they sand again. But you always want to sand in one direction because you don't want to create extra grooves. So don't press really hard. Let the sandpaper do your work for you. You know, you don't press because you're going to create a divot. Yeah, you're going to create a divot, you don't want to do that. So you want to do lightly. Let the sandpaper do the work. Yeah, so just go, so like, just lower your grit, Like, if you're using 600, it's not doing its job, don't press harder. Use, 2, or I don't recommend that, 400. Like 600 to 400. Yeah, 240 is a little bit iffy for me. It creates more.
It's drag.
It drags and it creates hairlines in it, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
So definitely, prime all your kits before you paint. And then painting should be a lot easier. Questions? Like,
Yeah, which ones to get?
if you're just starting out, the Tamiya, like if you guys have any recommendations, for me, I just use Tamiya paints because they're cheap.
Good acrylic paint.
Ooh,
Acrylic paints,
Any
yeah.
good acrylic paint, really. Just
Yeah, but then you also have to use like, I definitely recommend thinner, paint thinner. They sell it. They sell the paint thinner that you should mix with your paints so it doesn't dry up and go bubble up and stuff. So, but I definitely recommend, priming or just prepping everything really well because it's going to show. But don't be afraid to resand, but just do it properly, like one direction. Sometimes I go back and forth and that's bad. Like I catch myself doing it. But yeah, painting is fun. It's really fun, but it's not fun when you see the nubs all over. Yeah, because you're like, damn it, like that's not what my idea of a mecha looks like. Because a mecha to you is like what you think it is, weathered, or like people use like customize like a Death Star. I want it to look like a Death Star, like and people do a lot of cool things with it. So just do what you want with it, but then prepping it is the most important. So you can move on to master grades and, spend a lot of time on sanding. So, yeah. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So, there's a lot of hands. Who had their hand on? Like, you had your hand up for a very long time.
I've been doing Gunpla since like the original 0080 TV model kits.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I'm
We don't
a huge Warhammer 40K fan.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
The Citadel miniatures.
Citadel, yeah.
They actually have a lot of like really cool tools there now.
Yes,
not
amazing.
Like files and clippers and a bunch of other things like liquid green stuff is another.
Right.
It's they're becoming gas. Also, they have like painting videos that they do for different paints.
Yeah,
although their paints are water soluble.
Right. I really love Citadel stuff. It's very pricey.
Yes, it is.
It's very pricey. That's why I used to do 40K stuff, like Warhammer stuff, and then I couldn't afford it anymore. Because like a little thing like this is $15.
You see some of the new things they've come out with, like the Imperial Knights.
Yeah.
They're about the size of a Gundam, but they're like.
But not.
They're like 115.
Right. But it's just really expensive, and I think that like if you're just starting out, it's.
So much detail has been done now by Citadel.
But I think that in general, like if you're talking about old school kits, if you open an old school kit, do you guys remember when like it was just? Do you guys remember old school kits? They're just terrible. The 2002 and back. Oh my, what? You open it, you're like, this box art is amazing. You open it, you're like, what is this? This red's way off. This is like, what is this red? This is like my mom's like 99-cent store lipstick color. So like, this is not right.
Not to mention they have stickers on it as well.
Yeah, nothing wrong with stickers. But I mean, okay, there's everything wrong with stickers. Yeah, like the stickers just piss me off, and I don't, But I'm not against them. You can use them.
Also, we have for weathering, they have a bunch of like shade paints and paints.
Oh yeah, if you go to a model kit shop, there's everywhere. You just go. Yes. Did you have? Okay. Yes.
So for me, I sometimes have to travel with Gunpla that I go ahead and build. What I've been doing is pretty much cutting the box slightly to make the
compartments
box into like a way to hold the Gundam itself.
That's true. Yeah.
What do you have any better way of like?
When you're traveling?
Yes.
For me, I put it in plastic bags.
No,
and
it's pre-built. Like you've already built the Gundam itself.
Okay.
And then you have to travel with it built.
I buy. 5 minutes. How did it become 5 minutes? No! Okay, fine. Okay, so like, how I build, okay, so if you're talking about, instead of using the box, because the box takes up a lot of space, I like to get like containers, like little sandwich containers, and putting everything in it. Sandwich containers, because they're plastic and it has a like resealable lid. It's sturdy too, and it's smaller. Because if you use the box, it's great, but it's too big. Because you can put you can stack Gundams in it, but it's not, you'll bend the box. So I think sandwich containers are cool. Yeah. Okay, yes. Oh, no. Oh, no, yeah, sure. I was on the, okay, but I'll go after, yeah. Yes? Yes.
I don't know what Gunpla is. It's like building, right?
Yeah, oh, sorry. So it's a model kit, like based on pretty much like anime called Gundam, right?
Oh, so it's only Gundam.
No, there's a lot of different model kits out there. There's Frame Arms Girl.
What if I made like a 3D, model of the White House? Does that count or no?
Not really, because you're assembling it from start to finish. Like, it's kind of like that, but it's not like Legos at all, because Legos has like a different kind of thing. Building system, you're pretty much making identical, like in your mind, what model, mobile suit looks like. So it's mainly Gunpla is like a Gundam thing. Okay, well, that is different. You build cool stuff. See, those move, and our stuff does not move. Okay, and I did not buy any of those because I couldn't afford it. I just bought SD model kits when I was younger. But if you bit Zoids, you're good. You're like here, all right? I'm not saying Gunpla is down here. I'm saying Zoids move. Did you have the moving ones back then?
I would think
Oh, okay. I look back at Zoids builders and I'm like, you.
It just sucks when you.
I don't want that, but then they have new Zoids now for kids. I forgot the series that just came out.
Yeah, Wild.
Yeah, it's cute though, but then all my Zoids friends who are back in the day, they're just like haters. They're like, that is. I'm like,
New
come on,
Century
man.
Zero. Give me my New Century
I was
Zero.
like, how dare.
Only bad thing about Soy Kids is losing the little guy that comes with it.
Yeah, right.
Have you seen the Kotobukiya ones? They're like
Oh, that Frame Arms Girl?
No, the Soichi from Kotobukiya is like 100 and change. And they're around the size of a master grade.
Oh yeah, I trust me, I've seen them. I'm just like this. Do I want? And I'm like, do I want a real grade kit or do I really want a perfect grade? Like the new perfect grade just came out, and I'm just like, or just pictures of. I'm like, do I want that?
Answer is yes.
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 Don't talk to me, you guys. I just can't.
Yeah.
I got pay rent. Anyway, so green, yes.
Much like you, when I went to Japan, like I might have accidentally bought too many Gundams.
I like the word accidentally bought. I'm gonna use that one. Thank you.
When you kind of go to Gundam base twice,
Yes.
and you didn't mean to go that second time, and then you buy more.
Did you see the 1/20th scale there? Have you guys seen pictures of the 1/20th scale?
Yes.
What the? It's like why?
And the little show they put on beside it.
Yeah.
I was there.
Oh yeah, me too. I was like, God, when? Yeah. It's like a child.
So I kind of refilled my backlog, and I've been working through it.
Yeah.
I just built an Amatsumina, and
Matsumina is one of my favorites.
Right.
Have you guys built? You built it, obviously. The real great Matsumina is one of the better kits that I found. Amazing.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. It looks amazing. It's solid.
Yeah.
It just is sick.
And
Yeah.
And I'm working towards having enough time to build the Shinmusha I got there.
Oh, thank you.
Shinmusha.
Yes, you know.
So I guess my question is is there anything in your backlog that you're really excited?
Oh no. Oh, but yeah, you can finish.
Anything in your backlog you're really excited to build like next?
Yes. I lost a runner. I didn't lose it. I got sold a runner less. Sometimes it happens to me. One runner's gone. But my camper, I really want to customize a camper.
Yep.
So yes. All right, thank you so much, guys. Thanks for making time for me. Love you guys. And if you have any questions, I have a Twitch as Vampy Baby. I stream almost all the time, customizing or not customizing. I don't do that yet, but building Gunpla. And then thank you, Sairaichu and Tekinator.
Thanks for letting me sit here.